Kids Matter provides a process that you can use to assess and evaluate your current practice in supporting mental health and wellbeing. Consultation with staff is central to planning and implementation. This allows you to identify your own strengths and specific needs to set your goals. You can then develop strategies and review your progress as needed. The process is also flexible, so that you tailor it to meet your specific circumstances. The Kids Matter framework provides opportunities for reflection and strengthens what is already being achieved in the area of children's mental health and wellbeing in your setting. The implementation of Kids Matter is not linear. It's a dynamic process of continuous improvement, planning, implementation and review. Kids Matter provides early childhood settings with the principles, tools and processes. It also recognises the need for flexibility to acknowledge and respect where services are in terms of their own needs and priorities. This level of flexibility means that Kids Matter may look quite different across early childhood services. As part of your planning processes, there are a few things you may need to consider. Understanding change processes is important. Setting small, achievable goals and allowing time for things to happen supports the change process. Sustainability is more likely to be achieved if your leadership team is representative of your setting, your whole team is committed to Kids Matter, and strong connections are made with your quality improvement plan. Anticipating challenges that may present at your service will support you in overcoming and managing these more effectively. Time needs to be allocated for planning, review and professional learning. Making and taking opportunities to celebrate success is important to promote engagement and ongoing commitment to improving mental health and wellbeing.
In addition, with feeling confident that you can do this, you also need to feel okay with change, to feel okay with some of the discomfort of change. You need to be flexible. You need to give people time to come on board. So some of the larger team might come on board with Kids Matter immediately, and some will take some time to bring along. And you need to consider the individual differences of the team that you're working with, the educators, in the same way that you consider the individual differences of the children that you're working with in your room. So in a way, being in the leadership is no different from being in your team in your room. Just this time you're leading your educators and you're not leading the children.
In order to make Kids Matter happen in our centre, we had to really plan and make a place for it. So we had to put Kids Matter on our team meeting agenda, and we had to make time for it in our team meetings so that we could really give it the time it deserved and really explore the options within each component. Having the 4 components is good because you work through a component and then you feel some sense of achievement when you get to the end of the component and that you know more information, and it helps you launch into the next component. And the various elements of the components that really help people think about what they're doing with the families and how they speak to the families and how they choose their words and their time. It just helps the families feel really more satisfied with their interaction with the educators.
In thinking about implementing Kids Matter, it's really important to think about the foundation or the beginning process of the process. It's here that you're going to set up a lot of the structures and the practices that will help you to maintain Kids Matter in your service. So you need to think about time. Do you have enough time? Are there any competing priorities? Are there any major changes that might be happening in your service over the next year or two? And once you've sort of, in a way, cleared the decks a little bit of those things, you can really, it's important to think about implementing Kids Matter over the next 2 years, and to really be thoughtful about planning it, forward planning, and progressing at your own pace. Some services might go really quickly for 6 months and then go really slowly for another 6 or 8 months. So other services might just move along at a very steady pace. So you really need to always be thinking about what your service needs and how you can adjust the framework to suit your needs. So Kids Matter will look different in every service, but it will actually feel the same in every service.
So one really important thing to consider when you're thinking about Kids Matter is thinking about ways to make Kids Matter work for you, because then you will embed it in your service and your service culture will change accordingly. So really looking at all the risk factors and protective factors and working out which ones really will make the biggest difference for you in the easiest way, and then it will happen. Then doing it in small steps, then the differences will occur. One of the most important things about getting started is getting started. There's so much planning you can do, but you've just got to jump in and do it. And then that will tell you what the next step will be. And it will make a big difference and it'll be worth it.
All Kids Matter resources are available on the Kids Matter website. To make the most of connecting with Kids Matter, we suggest you have a reliable high-speed internet connection, a webcam for video conferencing, speakerphone for teleconferencing, capacity to view on a large screen for a whole of staff professional learning. If you're not sure about any of these things, email us kidsmatter@earlychildhood.org.au.